Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Grind. It's your host, Mark. We have a very special episode today. We're doing a catch-up and an update with Youcef after his summer internship at Madrona. So we're going to cover a lot of ground. We're going to talk about his self-doubt going into the process, how he almost didn't show up for that interview at Madrona, that he faked sick to me. We're going to talk about what it felt like to go up that elevator for the first time, Madrona Venture Group, get out, take a look at the office. We're going to talk about how his summer went, and then we're going to talk about how he's going to parlay that summer internship into a full-time offer. So a lot of ground to cover up front. Before we get into it, I want to say full transparency, full disclosure here. We're not recording today's episode from our typical studio in Seattle. I'm actually home for the holidays at my family's house in North Carolina, so I want to say two things. One, happy holidays to all of you. And the second is this is our last episode of 2017. So thank you all for making it happen for us in 2017. 10 episodes. Who would have thought? We have at least 10 more coming in 2018. We're going to introduce you to 2 new characters. So thank you for coming on the journey with us. So while I'm in the gratitude headspace, I also want to thank 2 of our funders who funded us at $250 in our Kickstarter and therefore earned an on-air thank you. So I want to thank Na Young and I want to thank Kim. Without you guys, we could not have made this happen. Thank you both. You really made the grind happen in 2017. And to continue on the announcement portion of this episode, I want to say a huge congratulations to Taylor and Alex, our interns/producers. They both secured themselves an internship and full-time job offer respectively for next year. They're going to be real deal, big time journalists. We tell everyone they got their start here at The Grind, but we know they were awesome before they came to us, and they're going to be awesome afterwards. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Without further ado, here is our update with Youcef. When we last met Youcef, he was getting the job, but then you said, man, no, it starts.
Yeah.
We got to go further back.
We got to go further back because the journey didn't start off when I got the internship. It started off before when I was getting rejected back and forth.
I mean, I met you probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
But then even then, you were doing your thing for 2 years plus before that, man.
Yeah, I was doing my thing. You know, I thought I was doing the right thing. But then, you know, getting rejected, you realize 99% of the time you realize you're not doing it right. And then all of like these rejection and everything that was happening, it makes you feel like you're dumb or you're not in the level. But then honestly,
did you feel like that, man? Because
yeah.
Every time I met you, you felt like you were so confident, man.
Yeah,
and you were, right?
I was confident, but then, you know, when you get rejected not once, not twice, the confidence kind of goes away.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt.
Maybe what I thought about myself was wrong.
Yeah.
I thought I could do this.
Maybe I was comfortable. Maybe I was getting this 4.0. Maybe I was doing all this right, but then I'm not smart.
Yeah.
You know, and that kills your confidence. So that's where I was at until, you know, you helped me out. You got me connected to the right people. And then here I am in Madrona. And that changed my life, honestly.
Well, it's awesome to hear, dude. So, I mean, what was it like to even just go up in the elevator, get to the office, be there? I mean, paint the picture a little bit.
So just being in the elevator, I was feeling really low going into whatever interview / just connecting up / just talking.
Because you didn't even really know it was an interview.
I wasn't. And you know, something that's funny, I wasn't even trying to go to the interview because the day before I got rejected. And I was like, man, I'm just going to get rejected. That's just me. That's just who I am. I'm a failure. So I was like, I'm not even going to go. And then I ended up going. And the guy was really amazing.
I remember we talked the day before. And you were like, do I need to do this?
Yeah. And then I kind of lied to you. I was like, man, Mark, I'm sick. I don't want to go. You know, it's getting cold in Seattle.
I can't believe it, man. You were not going to show up. That would have been.
And then I just go in there, man. Because, just think about it, Mark. Like, you're going to the 34th floor.
Yeah.
In one of the tallest buildings in Seattle.
Yeah.
To an interview.
Yeah.
That's not who I am, man. That's not for me.
That's who you are now, man.
That's who I am now. But then beforehand, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm a college student. You go into Madrona, one of the top VCs here in Seattle, established, doing really well. Like, what do they need in a guy like me?
Yeah.
Just like
that was the
attitude
mindset.
I had.
Yeah.
The mindset, yeah. And then I go in there, and then I meet with this guy, Jay, amazing guy, down to earth, established, 4 startups under his belt. I didn't know at that time. When he told me these people are established, I was like,
whatever.
It's just Mark telling me another guy established. But then, we go in there.
It's just more stuff that Mark is telling me.
Yeah, just Mark telling me.
More Mark stuff.
And then, like, when I realized, like, hey, this shit is serious. I'm sorry for the S word.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
it's a podcast. You can say that.
Yeah, but then just like, I realized that when I was looking out of the view and I see all of Seattle, like all of it just small, nothing. Like I'm on the top of Seattle at this stage.
So what did that make you feel like then?
Man, it made me feel like, hey, I belong here. It's
That's
just,
cool.
I belong here. It's just that I wasn't connected to the right people.
Yeah.
I didn't have the right skill set. I didn't know what skills I needed to like make it to this life.
Yeah.
Because coming from a low income minority, like everything is against you.
Yeah.
Like the wind just hits you back and forth.
Yeah.
And having family that don't even know, like, they realize that education is powerful, but they don't know, like, how to connect you up, what you need to do.
Yeah, it's the first part of it.
Yeah.
But it's not the only part of it.
It's not the only part of it. So, we go through this killer interview, and then this guy, Jay, he sees something in me that I didn't see in myself at that time. He gives me a week-long project. Worked on the project, the most amazing project I worked on my whole life. I was excited. I went up to him like he gave it to me on a Tuesday, I think. I went back to Madrona on another Tuesday, presented it to him, and he was like, "Man, you're the one." And when he said that, man, like
that's nuts. What was it about the project, man? How did you do so? How did you impress him so much?
I don't know. The project, it was just something I loved. Like something about me. I love learning.
Yeah.
Even though I might not have the skills, but then I love learning, and that takes away everything. Like I'll get to where I need to get if I know what I need. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
type
man.
Of thing. Like I might not have it now, but I worked.
And it wasn't like you didn't need like a year.
No.
You just needed a little bit of time to kind of work your way around it.
I just needed somebody to guide me.
Yeah, but even then, like he gave you a week. It
Yeah.
wasn't like he gave you a semester.
Yeah.
It was like he was like, just take some time, take your own time.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing. I mean, that pisses me off, to be honest, about a lot of interviews, because I think people miss out on good candidates all the time because they only look for people who try to show up a certain way in a 30-minute interview or whiteboarding code on a whiteboard. That's not realistic.
Who cares
at
about
all.
that? That's
Who cares about that, man?
Like,
you're not gonna whiteboard code on a. I mean, it's just completely.
And that's not even the job. Like
that's
a
not even the job.
So a software developer, you're gonna have to look stuff. You're gonna have to learn on your own stuff. And I feel like I had those skills.
Yeah.
And then that's what Jay had. That's why he saw in me.
But I think everyone sees that in you, man.
I don't know. I don't see it in myself, and I feel like that's a killer.
It's true.
Yeah, that's a killer. And sometimes I do see it in myself, but we don't want to fill ourselves to the point where like, hey, we're perfect. But then in the same time, like when you get rejected, like at that stage, Mark, like I needed not to see that in myself to change the direction I was working in.
That was the only, because like what I was attracted to, just like wanting to work with you, is your enthusiasm, right, and positivity. That's true. Yeah. And you always were great at that. You're somebody who people want to look out for. But there was that period, man, and it was like you put yourself out there. Applying for jobs is like putting yourself out there, man.
That's true.
It's like I'm going on the audition. It's just me out here. And so when you get slapped around a little bit and things don't work out, you take it personally, man. You got to take it personally. If you're putting yourself into something, you take it personally. And it was a little bit disconcerting to hear. I could hear in your voice that you were down a little bit, and it was it was kind of the first time I'd heard you down in that way. And I felt a little personally responsible, to be totally honest.
Not really.
Well, here's the thing. I was so sure everything was going to work out for you because I've seen more things in you, and I know what it actually takes, right? And it doesn't take the flashy stuff. It doesn't take the stuff that a lot of people look for in interviews. It takes the stuff that you have. And so I was just totally sure it was going to work out for you. And I think I was worried that maybe I got your hopes up at one point.
Yeah.
And that maybe it wasn't going to work out. And I was like, dude, I screwed up here,
But
man.
then, man, I'm thankful that moment happened. Because if
yeah.
it was easy, like the direction would have been easy and everything would have worked out fine. But then it happened at the best moment.
Yeah.
Like it changed my direction. It made me think.
Yeah.
It got me out of my comfort zone to actually doing all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man, when people get the opportunity and they take it for granted.
It's funny, though, because, like, we assumed, like, you got the job.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's just beginning, man.
It's
it's
never
just
done.
the first step, right?
Life is never done.
Never done.
It's never done.
So tell us about the summer, man. Like, what did you work on? What was it like?
Man, this summer has been an amazing, like, journey for me.
Yeah.
So I started off by just working on the machine learning, scraping data. That's what my boss or my mentor, Jay, kind of got me into.
Yeah.
I was reading books. I was doing all this stuff. And then, in a VC or in a lab type of environment, the direction is always changing. So, I was working on this project, scraping data, and then the direction changed to the point where we're working on new technology called blockchain. And even Madrona just posted some Medium articles about our journey to blockchain. So everybody started at the same direction, same level. And that was amazing for me because, I'm the intern, I'm trying to learn. And man, ever since then, like, it's been a blessing,
So what did you learn about yourself this summer?
So I learned about myself that I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
That's the main one. I wasn't dumb at the beginning.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the skills needed.
Yeah.
I have the skills to, like, actually take the job to the next level.
Yeah.
But the skills to take me into the door, I didn't have them. Like, the interviewing type of skills, I didn't have them.
Yeah.
Like, the whiteboard, I never did that in my life.
Yeah.
The critical thinking, I do have it.
Yeah.
It's just I take my time.
Yeah.
So, like, to try me or to text me for 2 hours, that's not who I am.
So then, okay, what did you learn this summer then? Like, did you caught the startup bug, man? Do you want to work in startups now?
I do down the line,
Down the line. So not right away.
Not right away, because, you got to get some credibility.
Yeah.
You gotta have a resume type of thing.
Yeah.
You can't just be going to startup just thinking you want to be a startup,
So you're thinking take some more shots at big companies this year.
Yeah, and save up some money.
Yeah.
Because, life is not stable.
No.
So, you got to be ready for whatever happens.
Yeah.
Like,
save up some money, man.
Save up some money and, the journey.
You sound like an adult right now. 401k. Get myself some health insurance.
Get myself a house on the beach.
That would be cool. Wood Beach, man. We live in Seattle. Gotta move back to LA.
Seattle anymore, maybe San Francisco.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
But, like, get some credibility, save up some money because life is not stable like we've seen it. Do our journey, just working hard, 150 application, and it still didn't work out.
Yeah.
And that can happen at any stage, and it can even happen worse.
And if you're really going to take risks in your life, you need a backup, man.
That's true.
So you want to have a little money in the bank so you can go to the next thing.
And also, like, when you talk to people, like, nobody cares, like, who is Mark or Youcef. But then if you tell them, like, hey, I worked for Madrona, I interned for Madrona, I'm working at Amazon, that's how they take shots. They take chances on you.
It's true because the first is the hardest, man.
Yeah.
Because that first time you're trying to sell somebody on you. Yeah. But now they might not, now if someone's like, well, Youcef, I don't really know what he's about. Then you're like, oh, these guys can vouch for me. I work for this big firm that you know about.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. And then they trust the organization because the organization doesn't just get people.
And they know the training you got there.
Yeah.
They know the people who would have worked with you there.
Yeah. And they know it's all serious. Like when we talk about Amazon or Microsoft, why do people trust these companies?
Yeah.
Because they know it's hard to get in.
Yeah.
But then when you get in, like they see something in you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get practical, man. I mean, school just started.
Yeah.
Senior year.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First thing, you got to graduate.
Yep, of course. You got to get that degree.
Keep our eye on the prize.
It's number one, of course.
Well, the second thing is you're probably starting to think about
jobs.
Apps.
Yeah.
We're right back at it.
Yeah, And I have now that I built up my network, now that I built up my resume, I'm more comfortable going into like an application, going into interviews.
So how are you thinking about it? Are you thinking I'm going to apply through career services? Or are you thinking more I'm going to go back to Madrona and ask those guys to hook me up or what?
So Madrona is one way. But then, I'm working on another backup, applying to other companies,
Yeah.
working through my network.
And do you feel comfortable enough with Madrona that you could be like, can you guys intro me around?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously
Yeah,
you'd like to
yeah.
work there, but like maybe they can put out intros too.
Of course, man. And something that was amazing. There was one of the guys, I remember, Matt. We talked to him before the summer, before I started interning. And it was hard to just get an email from him. But this summer, I worked a great relationship with him to the point where he want to help me take it forward. And Matt has under his belt a portfolio of companies.
Yeah.
So that's a great relationship.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize sometimes is that networking, it doesn't stop once you get the job. You have to network within the job.
Of course.
Because the people who are really going to look out for you are people who you've worked with and actually know that you can get the job done. And you might make really good friends with people outside of that who can like turn you on to jobs. But if they haven't worked with you, they're not going to really pound the table for you. Like someone who's like, I sat next to this guy for 3 months and he could get the job done. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know? So either Madrona or one of these big companies.
One of these big companies,
All right, cool, man.
And I have the credibility. I have the credentials.
You're feeling confident?
I'm feeling confident to go into an interview and see where it takes me.
Good,
I
man.
built up my network too, which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, you always forget it though.
Yeah, but then, now in LinkedIn, I'm officially like 450,
I got 1,400, bro.
I'll get there. I'll get there.
I just downloaded all of their emails because I was getting this podcast list going, and I was a little bit like, okay, I don't really know a lot of these people. I was like, I'm connected with them, but I don't think I really know them.
That's awesome.
It's not like a grade 1,400.
Actually, there was somebody I didn't know on my LinkedIn. Ended up being a corporate vice president for OneNote at Microsoft.
There you go. That's huge.
Met up with them. They brought me some cookies. They cooked me some cookies.
Really?
And we built an amazing, relationship.
Cooked you cookies.
Who does that?
That's
awesome. But she did it.
That's
which
great.
was really awesome. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Well, so let's talk a little bit more about. So, I mean, I've lucky enough to meet your family a couple times. Awesome.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Like, what did it mean to them? Because they were in it with us, right? I mean, they were right there with us.
Yeah.
They're hugely supportive.
Yeah.
I know a lot of your motivation comes from your family.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, what did it mean to them to see you kind of have this success this summer?
Man, I feel like it meant the word to them. Like, they felt more comfortable about what I'm going through. And now they don't even ask me about, like, what I need to do, where I'm going, because they feel comfortable.
They feel like
confident.
You have
confident.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you have it taken care of.
Like, I have it. Yeah, I have it taken care of.
Is that new? Didn't they always kind of feel that way?
They did, but now, like, it's more.
Okay.
Like, now my parents are thinking about, we live in an apartment and there's 6 of us. And that's not good life,
Yeah.
Your dad sleeps on the other room, the kids sleep in the living room, and that's hard.
Yeah.
But then now, like, they see me as buying them the house. Like, they know I can take care of the house.
Yeah.
Even my dad, like...
Do you see yourself buying them the house?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, down the line, maybe 3 years, saving up,
Yeah.
working hard, saving up. But then, man, it feels amazing. Like,
That's amazing, man.
Like, now my dad kind of left the responsibility on me type of thing. Like, the responsibility is kind of shifting a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's on me.
You're 22?
21. 21.
That's big, man.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge.
Are you ready for it?
I don't know if I'm ready. You're never ready for this type of
That's fair.
stuff. Like, you just got married
fair.
and, it's hard. You're never ready for what comes up.
It's not that hard, Sarah. we love you. You make it easy.
It's
Yeah. No, I know what you
that's
mean.
true. Yeah. But
I mean, that's big. Even it's cool to hear you say that. That's more than most people take on at 21.
yeah.
Are you aware
That's
of that?
true. Yeah, you can never be worried. Like, it's a very
Not
good
worried.
cause.
Are you aware of it? Are you aware that that's
I'm
more
never
than
aware.
most?
Like, nah.
No.
Nah, I just go with the flow. I just live the
Yeah.
second and just keep going with it. But then they realize, like, those tech jobs or whatever you call them.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
Googled around a little bit.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
You have to say, okay, well, got to take care of Youcef a little bit first.
Hey, Youcef always like takes care of him. That's the good thing. Like you saw me this summer.
Yeah.
I was in LA every 2 weeks.
New shoes there?
New shoes, Apple Watch. That's
Okay.
what.
Okay.
That's
So
what
you
the
did
TikTok-
okay. You got
I think I did good.
you did okay. Yeah.
I did good. Like my friends.
You got a few treats for yourself.
Yeah, and I have like a card now, official Madrona card.
That's pretty cool.
At 21, a lot of kids don't
It's
have
pretty
that.
cool to have a card.
Yeah.
I remember when I had my first card. It felt pretty.
It felt really neat.
It felt pretty cool.
And then you go to like when I went to TechCrunch to shop San Francisco, which is, yeah,
You're handing out your card. That's what I'm doing. I was handing out your card.
people take you more seriously.
Totally, man.
Yeah, so it felt really good. And the shop San Francisco, if it wasn't through Madrona and getting grant from school to go there, having it all paid off, that place is not for me. Like, you remember, I don't have the skills, but then going there and like having those conversations with those tech experts, it kind of boosts up your confidence too.
Totally,
But
man.
then going back to my family, I'm not aware of it, but then I feel like I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
There's not a cooler feeling than that. There's not a better feeling than
Yeah.
helping people who you love.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
And what else is money for?
that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to have a few toys for
Yeah.
sure.
That's true.
But-
that's true.
You don't need much, man.
Yeah.
It's a cool
It's a great feeling.
feeling, man.
It's a great feeling.
It's a cool feeling.
And I might take off some time next year, like before I sign once I sign the contract, I might take off like a few months, go back home and help on my grandma.
That's interesting. Yeah.
She's struggling. She's building a house.
Yeah.
And you don't see me as being a builder.
Not really.
But you gotta have.
But there you go.
You go from Seattle to Algeria, and just help them out because it's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And travel a little bit too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Of
you've
course.
seen a lot of the world, but
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. Stay
But, you
tuned.
know,
stay
stay
tuned.
tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
December is gonna be a big month.
all right, here's the not that you don't have enough to worry about,
Yeah.
but just knowing you.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now for Youcef 2 years ago? Are you gonna go find some freshmen at UW Tacoma?
Last year I was helping kids through like those political,
Yeah.
having the titles, all that. But then now I'm taking it more personal, and I'm actually just going back to Federal Way and mentoring those kids that want to be in technology, those kids that want to be next entrepreneurs, because I feel like they're not being seen. And if I can see them, so can the rest of the work. Because like I told you, I have a network behind me.
Yeah.
If I can go there and help them, that's the best. So I'm mentoring a couple of kids, 3 of them, even though just giving them little things.
They're in
like
high school.
Yeah, in high school, because I feel like that's where it's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like, what are the little things?
the little things, like just grabbing coffee with them in downtown Seattle, which seems really small, but then it means the word to them, like bringing them to your office in the 34th floor. which
That's big.
Yeah,
Part of it's just seeing it, man.
Yeah.
Part of it's just seeing you there.
yeah.
And what that
Madrona-
means to them. That means,
Yeah.
well, Youcef can do it.
I can do it. I can, yeah.
Nailed it.
And within the next couple of weeks, I'm actually going back and speaking to a class of engineers down in Federal Way High School. They actually have a curriculum. They teach them software. They teach them how to build their first website. And I'm doing that. I'm just going back there. And, I'm dressing up like this. You see me now? Why do you think I'm dressed up like this? Because this is who Youcef in Federal Way is.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to go back to them so they can feel like
Yeah.
I'm part of them,
Yeah.
If you dress up,
Yeah.
you look good like Mark, with the jeans.
This is who Mark is.
If you do that, then they don't like
I'm wearing slippers, by the way.
you are.
So
you
it's
are.
not that I'm like
the
really.
slippers is the one that makes you feel like me, but then, overall, actually, if you wear professionally, like they can't connect up with you, but then
Yeah.
if you're like straight up like them,
Yeah.
they can straight up connect with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw my picture with Kevin Durant.
I did see your picture with Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
He was at TechCrunch.
He was at TechCrunch.
TechCrunch, San Francisco, right?
he was at TechCrunch and then got the moment to like just talk to him. I tried to pitch him some of the ideas we were working on.
You did.
I tried, even though it wasn't successful, but I tried.
That would have made you a hero at Madrona. They'd been like, "You have an offer, sir."
I tried.
What'd you talk? How much did you talk to him?
So I talked to him for like 30 seconds because
Okay.
he had
That's pretty good.
big security, like the
No doubt.
security entourage that he had. It was like 10 football players security.
How'd
type.
you even find him?
He was walking in TechCrunch, going to
and
his
you're like,
car.
Kevin Durant, what's up?
I was like, KD, please, KD, let me talk to you. I have the best idea. He was like, go ahead.
That's
Listen up
cool.
to me. Listen up to me for 15 seconds. And then he was like, man, I'll think about it. and just walked. But then I feel like if I had a product or something to showcase, I would have sold him on the idea.
That's awesome.
But I tried. But then, like, why I brought up the Kevin Durant picture, like taking it up there and showing them that, hey, Youcef can meet with Kevin Durant, so can't you? Like, because most of the kids, they actually connect up with the athletes, music.
Yeah.
So if just showing them the picture, like, man, that's a big deal, you know? We're talking about somebody that made it big.
Yeah.
And, that's all I want to show them. So I'm preparing some slides for them.
Yeah.
And something that was said about Fedaway, I was supposed to speak yesterday, but somebody stabbed somebody.
Shit.
Which is kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah.
That tells you, like, the environment that I'm living in.
Yeah.
That tells you about the people that I'm inspiring. If you can change them, if you can change the direction, it's the best feeling.
So then what's the part of it is painting the picture of what you can is the belief, right? So part of it is them feeling like I believe I could do this. But the reality is the deck is stacked against Youcef and Federal Way. And so you got to work. I mean, you got to grind. I mean, it's
that's how it is. That's true.
You worked your ass off, man. I mean, every time I ever gave you anything to do, it's like, pff, done.
Yeah, that's true. But then, you know, just like guide them. Like, you can't change everything, but if you can find a couple of kids that are working their ass off, like you said, that will really want it.
That really want it? Yeah.
You know, because you always want that person that really want it. Like, the ones that just do it for the money are not going to be successful. The ones that just do it for, like, hey, we up here, they're not going to be successful. But the ones that really want it, the ones that have something to live for, like, it's either live or die. Like, for me, it was live or die.
Yeah.
You know, there's no in between. Like, you either live, you make it to the top, or you die. You go back to Fedaway and then go back to Africa, and it's over. Your journey is over. So those are the people that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And if I find those, like, 2 or 3 that I can mentor within the next 2 years, like you did with me, you know, because you too, like, you had a lot of kids coming up to you. Like, you were one of the cool mentors when we were coming to BCG. You were up there, you know. And then I remember coming to your office. That was the first time I was in the highs of Seattle in the building. I remember coming up to your office and the food you guys provided us. It was crazy. But then, you know, all of the kids came talking to you. Yeah. But then not a lot of like, I made the observation, not a lot of them stayed connected with you. Yeah. And they lost. You know, a lot of them now, they don't have internship, all that. And for me, I stayed connected with you. I really want to work on my weaknesses. Yeah. And, you know, it worked out. Yeah. And that's how I want with the kids that I'm working with. I want to have the same mindset that you had with me, you know, and just guiding them.
And, I mean, man, I've kind of come full circle a little bit in terms of, you know, I mean, everyone wants to try to find a way to make the world better, and everyone sees injustices and wants to try to solve them in their own ways. I spent a long time trying to write papers and do policy, and that stuff matters for sure. But if you can find 2 or 3 kids and you can help them get up, and then they go and find 2 or 3 kids, and then they go and find 2 or 3,
that's how you change the world.
I mean, I think it's also just, it makes you feel more. It's not that you don't want to give. Can't give up on the big stuff.
Of course, but we always need to stay connected.
Yeah, but and I think it's really inspiring. Like, the feeling you have actually working with real humans is what it's all about, man. It's like what life is for, is to make connections with people. You know, it's just awesome. So.
Yeah. And man, like, you have seen me through my lows. Like, always, whenever I talk about, like, whenever people ask me, how did you get to Madrona, or how did you get this cool gig, or how did you get to San Francisco, I always go back and tell them it was all of it help. Like, I got help throughout the way. Like, for you were one of the big.
Yeah, man. But it's also like, and you're seeing this now that you get to play the other side of it.
Yeah.
Is it like, why else should you be alive if not to help people? Like, it was so. You made my life happier, man. Like, just having, just Sarah and I feel connected to you, and you're a friend, man. I mean, it's not.
And you guys came to my house. You seen it all, you know.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, I'm not saying that this was like exactly how I felt when we first met. Like, oh, hey, we'll end up being good friends.
Yeah, of course. But we connected on a lot of levels.
But it became that way, and that is not. Everyone helps their friends. Everyone tries. And it's a great feeling. Like, the feeling you're going to get when you help your family out.
Yeah. The best feeling.
It's the best feeling, man. Yeah. It's a gift that you're giving me, right?
Yeah. And I appreciate it, man. Like, I always feel happy in your presence, you know?
Yeah.
It took me 2 hours to get here.
I know. I appreciate it. Well, and that's what, look, for the record, I always knew that it took you that long to get to hang out with me. Yeah. And that was like, That meant a lot, man.
Yeah,
I mean, and you never
yeah.
never really. Yeah, you always came.
Yeah.
And you also never really made me feel bad about it, even though you probably should have.
Never, man, never. Like, I'd love to be here.
Anyways, man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, dude, it's not easy to share yourself in this way that we're doing right now. And it's going to be probably a little weird when we launch this episodes and stories about you are on the internet and stuff. But I truly believe that, like, hearing about, even just when I tell people about you, it makes such a big difference for them. And I think hearing your story and just kind of the fact that it wasn't like a easy thing for you.
It wasn't.
You know?
It was.
The
Never
fact,
was.
The fact that, like, you really had to, like, we're looking at a book that's called Grit.
Yeah,
and the
Grit,
fact
you
that
know.
you had to persevere and that really believe in yourself, right? You know, I think it's going to do a hell of a lot of good for a lot of people. And I know it's uncomfortable, but I just thank you, man, for doing this.
Of course, man.
frankly.
Anything I
you
can
know?
help others, you know.
Yeah.
I always say that, like, anything I can help others, and I hope it helps others.
Yeah, it will. All right, man. We'll adjourn for now, and I'll buy you a coffee for coming all the way up here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for today, everybody. That was our update with Youcef. As always, thank you to Trackman Productions and PG Boo for our music. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Grind on.